everybody. Welcome to Friday Night Live on Valentine's Day. Let's get the party started. Oh my gosh, I hope that each of you are feeling love. And we're going to talk about love today and different aspects of love. I see that so many of you are on here. I want to thank Vicky and Jana, Frugal RV Gal, for being on here. Frugal RV Gal is not in camp. And so I was wondering whether or not she was going to make it, and she did. And happy Valentine's Day, Vicky and Jana and everybody else that is on here. And Richard, I'm so glad that you're here. I was afraid that my topic might run the guys off, but what guy doesn't want to talk about love? And so I'm hoping, Richard, that you will weigh in as the topic goes on tonight, because I want to hear from everybody on this, and I'll tell you about the layout in a minute. So I see Bonnie Vicari, Robin Mallory, Camper Tales, RV Camper, Marie, Robin, not just Robin Mallory, but the other Robin too. And Surf and Dodo, Kathy is here, and Kathy Decree, Megan, and Beth at Midnight Run was the first one to leave a comment. So if I left anybody out for you early risers, so to speak, I apologize. So it is beautiful and sunny here. And I had hoped to be outside let me just stop and give y'all a bunch of hearts. I had hoped to be outside and even bought wood and was going to have a campfire tonight and sit outside, and I was just really looking forward to being outside. And of course, the wind is too high to sit outside with a microphone even. And of course, too windy to have a fire. So I'm bummed about that. You can see my curtain blowing, and because it's sunny and warm, it's too. I was going to look and see what the temperature is because it's sunny. It says it's 68, which is just perfect. So it'd be great to sit outside, but it's too warm to shut the door. And so you're going to see my curtain blowing in the back. Yeah, Frugal says where she's camped too, that the wind is crazy. And this morning, oh my gosh. So this big wind comes through, and I saw this. I have a big limb out on the near me it's dead, and it's just laying out there, kind of by where I pull into the area where we park, and it was just scooting across the ground. I didn't even think about my solar panels for my Starlink. And in a little while, I went out to move them to go with the sun because it's partly cloudy, but it's nice and sunny mostly. They were everywhere. There was one over there. They'd even come unattached and just thrown about. And then there was no wind for a couple of hours, like not even a breeze. And it was kind of eerie, scary. I don't like that when it's like, and then nothing. But now it's just regular quartzite wind. Bonnie Vicari, happy Valentine's Day to you too, and thank you for that super chat tip to Jana and I. That is so nice. Thank you so much. Glad that you're here, Judy. Happy Valentine's Day. And let's see, what are y'all talking about? I missed something. Everybody's trying to stay warm, and here I am talking about it being really sunny. Bonnie, it's just so good to see you. I've missed you. Hi, cousin Cindy mine. Love you and appreciate you. And so Cindy, Mike gave her a bird buddy. I think that's what it's called, a bird buddy, to where you can see birds eating and everything sitting on it. And I don't know. Cindy, are you okay? Let me know if you're okay if I show them a picture of what I made and sent you. So she put me on her bird buddy cam so that I can see. Hi, Cheryl. And oh my gosh. No, I just lost it. C&D Casita Adventures. I do this to y'all all the time. What is wrong with me? C&D Casita Adventures. C&D. I know y'all's names. I say it all the time, and then it just always goes out of my head. Cindy says I can show y'all. Y'all forgive me. Tell me your names. Hi, Loretta. Happy Valentine's Day to you too. Christine, hi there. Oh no, trees falling is not a good thing. Okay, so anyway, she put me on her bird buddy cam so I can see these birds that feed on her little bird cam. And so there was two of them sitting on there the other day. And so I did a screenshot real fast. It was just the two birds. And this is the little bird feeder that they sit on. And I took that screenshot. Yes, Chuck and Diane. Thank you, Judy, Val. Anyway, no, Charlie and Diane. Yes, Charlie and Diane. Robin knows. That's too funny. Anyway, I took that screenshot and because I knew I those two birds just kept sitting there like that, and they would look at each other, then they'd eat, then they'd look at each other like mine was good, was yours good? Anyway, so I took a screenshot, and I've been waiting to and I made that little card and sent to them this morning, and I was been waiting to do that, so that was fun. I mean, hi Sue in Utah, good to see you. And C and D Casitas, she's finally correcting me. I love y'all. Y'all know that, right? I mean, oh my God, they brought us those wonderful pies at QIA last month, or no, this month, early this month, February 1st. And I've seen them in New Mexico at Angel Fire. We see them all over. And I'm always like, C&D Casita Adventures. What are your names? Brain injury. That's all it is. Because I hope y'all know I love you. Massage by Arnold is in the house. Hello, hello. Sending rainbow hugs right back to you. That's awesomeness. Judy Connolly. Ty, good to see you. Ty says it's raining in California. I believe it's raining up and down the whole West Coast. I chatted with Judith for a little bit this morning and forgot to ask her if it was raining in California where she is, but I've been talking with other people on the West Coast, and I know that it has been just raining cats and dogs there. Norman in San Diego, hello. Hey, Chris. Good to see you. Okay, so let me show y'all something. So this is my little love bug. I sent it to a few people today, but that look at him. So today I worked mainly from my bed, which I call my couch bed. I prop up in bed and work. And I got a lot of work cranked out, but every time I looked up, he was looking at me. And I just thought, oh my God, my little Valentine, he loves me so much. And then I realized I'm sitting there snacking while I'm working. And he was waiting on the snacks. So look at it again. He's staring me down for snacks. I mean, he loves me. Don't get me wrong. I know my little boy loves me, but mostly he's like, yeah, I'll take some of that. So Sally Forth is in the house. Thanks for the thumbs up reminder, Vicky. I appreciate that. I know. I mean, I was just like, oh my gosh, my little boy, he's making my Valentine's Day. And yeah, he could have cared less. He just wanted the treats. Thank you, Camper Tales. Lori says her little lamb chop stares at her that way. Yeah. And so Sally is here and literally here in Quartzsite now. Y'all show her some love. Sally stepped out of her van recently and into a hole out of her van and broke her foot in two places. And so people in that camp, our friends in that camp, Lisa and Barb went to the rescue, got her in Tucson, and drove her back here to Quartzsite. So she's kind of laid up for now, but she's here. And so, and she's go to her YouTube channel, Sally Forth, and she's got a video up about it, and you can see it. Oh, Suzanne saw your video. That's so nice. Hi, Suzanne. Happy Valentine's Day. I started to say happy birthday. So today we are going to talk about, I'm going to show y'all, we're going to talk about self-love. We're going to talk about how we show love, and we're going to talk about how to receive love. And because it's Valentine's Day. And so I think it's appropriate because we can all talk about love. You don't have to be in a relationship to enjoy Valentine's Day. And before we start talking about all that, and so I'm going, did I do a thumbs up? I guess I did. I didn't mean to. So there's a thumbs up. How about peace? It does balloons for peace, doesn't it? Yeah. So crazy. Wonder if it does anything for a fist. Probably not. They'd probably get into trouble for that. But before we get into that, I wanted to share with y'all a story. When I was at camp with where Sally is now. Sally wasn't there when I was there, and that video will be coming up on Monday, so y'all watch for that. This story is not going to be in that video, but the video where I camped at that camp with Travels with Dottie, Pup Camper 58, Barb and Lisa weren't there because they'd gone after Sally, but Judy Val and another friend is there. And so it was quite fun. But I shared the story about how many of y'all are familiar with Miley Cyrus's song Flowers? I can buy myself flowers. I'm not a singer, but y'all know what I mean. And so back in the day, before that song and all that movement ever came up, my friends and I, this was back in probably early 90s. There were 4 of my friends and I. So I know, right, Vicki? So there were 5 of us. We decided to treat ourselves to Valentine's. None of us were in a relationship, and we thought we'll just go and we will take care of ourselves and go have a nice Valentine's dinner and go to a play. We even got tickets to a play, and this was in Dallas. And nobody's too old for that song, Judy. And you're not old. I don't let anybody get by with that on my channel. I'm rounding the corner to 70, and I know some of y'all are past 70 and rounding the corner and past 80. And but no, I don't buy that age thing, and I don't want anybody being decrepit, because I know that we can all fall into that. But no, you're not too old for Miley. That's a good song. And if you don't know it, remind me, and I'll play it for you next time we're together. But this was, like I said, in the early 90s. There were 5 of us, and we went, we decided we made reservations at this restaurant. And it was a 5-star restaurant with white tablecloths, the whole bit. The maitre d' and the waiters wore tuxes and black and white, and y'all get the picture, in North Dallas. And so we go and we have a nice dinner. Well, y'all don't know these people, so I can say their names. Not any of the Robins that are on here, but Robin was our friend. Robin was. Well, we all went in her car. And it was very anxiety ridden because Robin, we didn't realize, had road rage. So here we are on Valentine's Day in Robin's car going down Central Expressway, which is like one of the busiest highways in Dallas. And she's like, yeah. So we get to the restaurant, and most of us are like, oh my God. And so the first thing we do is we got champagne. And but it was we weren't drinking, and so it was their what's that called, the anyway, non-alcoholic in sparkling something. And and all of us were like, good thing we're not drinking, so because we would have just been downing them anyway. So we order and we have dinner, and it was quite lovely. And then I'm going to make Robin sound like a pill. And again, none of the Robins on here. She just was having a bad night. She got upset because we were trying to figure out the ticket. They only would do 1 ticket. And so we were all trying to figure out what we owed. She got upset, threw some money on, yes, Sally and Vicky, thank you. Threw money on the table. and said, I'll wait for y'all in the car. We were all like, I hope she waits, because that was our ride. And there wasn't Uber and everything back then. We could have gotten a taxi. But anyway, so we're trying to figure out the money. And plus she threw too much down. So we're having to try to figure out how much money to give her back and subtract it all out. And we're all trying to figure that. And you got four women now at the table trying to figure that out. We're all rattled. And this was back before my brain, I mean, not before my brain injury, but before my brain surgery, when I could still do math. And finally the maitre d' comes over and wants to know if he can help. And we're like, no, thank you. We got this. And he said, well, I'm happy to be of service because we do have a reservation for this table. In other words, get out. So we get all even more nervous, and we can't figure it out. So we just throw money on the table, and we did a quick count of the money, and then left. We didn't even stick around for the waiter to come get it or anything, and left. And we later figured out that we paid like $300 too much. I'm making myself sound so ignorant. But we, the four of us, were laughing about it. Poor Robin, not so much, but we were dying, and we were like, well, at least somebody had a good night, and that would be our waiter. And then we go to the theater, and we thought that I know, nice tip, right? Then we thought that we had seats all together in the theater, which would have been 5 seats together, but somehow no, there were like 2 over here, 1 in the middle, 1 down there, and 1 back up there. We didn't even get seats together. And Cheryl, I'm telling the story that I told at camp the other night. And on the Valentine's Day in the early 90s, we didn't even get seats together. And then on top of that, it was a Neil Simon play. And it was about it's called Chapter 2, and it's the Neil Simon play about his life married to Marsha Mason, and they got married too soon after his wife had died, and it was just a shit show for them, and they fought all the time and threw things, and the play was very depressing, ended on a depressing note. I mean, we walked out of there after the dinner thing, and after that play, just feeling whooped. Hey, Johnny's Journey, good to see you. And hi, Pup Camper and Mary Lamb and Terry, those who have come in, I'm glad you're here. Anyway, so when I hear that song by Miley Cyrus, I think, yeah, I can do all those things, but it's probably better if I don't. So, yeah, and so it is a great show, but it was not a good ending to that night. And so then we had to, it was like a 40-minute drive to get across Dallas and back to Addison, where we all lived. Yeah, that's what I just had to share that story. Because when I think about telling people, you don't have to be in a relationship to celebrate love. And Johnny, did you make it back home? Speaking of which, I hope you had safe travels. But you don't have to be in a relationship to celebrate love and to celebrate a day that is about love. And so let's talk about self-love for a minute. I want to know, and look at that, Surfing Dodo's asking the same thing. So I want to know, how do you show yourself? How do you show self-love? So let's talk about that, y'all. What I know. I do things all the time. It doesn't have to be. I'm not talking about necessarily for Valentine's Day. I am going to make myself cook something, even though Frugal's not here. I'm going to make myself cook something and hopefully not burn it and enjoy that. And so I don't mean this. I don't necessarily mean just for Valentine's Day. Johnny's Journey says, Kelly says, just shopping. Linda, greetings from coastal Texas. You made it home. Yay. And validation day. That is nice, Melanie. That's a good way to do it. Other ways that I do self-love is I do things like have my hummingbird feeders out. I will do a manicure, pedicure, something I desperately need to do. I will sleep in if I need to. I take long walks. Those are some of mine. I want to hear from you. What do you guys do? Happy Heart Day lessons from Lila. I love that. Hi, Doreen and Steve. Happy anniversary. Terry says she treats herself to a massage. That is a great thing. Good, Sally. Those are good ones too. Sally says meditation and exercise, eating well. I mean, and those are I know there are a lot of people that do those on a daily basis. That's pretty lofty for me. I wish I could tell you I do all of those things every day. I don't. And then, of course, she's into injury recovery from having broken her foot. And asking for help is a form of self-love. She's absolutely right on that. And then accepting it and being gracious about it. But casino and lunch with a friend, that, those play days are important self-love too. So Johnny's Journey says, oh, I get it now. Johnny's Journey says that Kelly says self-love is shopping. I'm with you on that, Kelly. And, there are times that I save up and there's something I need. And so I just went and I bought myself, y'all are going to think this is the oddest thing, but it was a form of self-love. It was a pick-me-up for me. Bandit goes underneath the rig and he goes on the other side and he gets tangled in my Starlink wires and my solar panel wires. And it's just a hassle every day. And I don't mind the hassle so much as I'm afraid he's going to do damage. And so I bought these little, I wish I could show them to you. I should have gotten a picture, but they're in the ground out there, so I can't show them to you now. But they're like garden sections of a garden fence, a little bitty fence with stakes, and you pound that into the ground. And there were 10 of them in a package, and it was very reasonable, like $30, which is, $30 is a lot of money, but for 10 of those, and it keeps him out from underneath my rig. That was self-love for me this week. Suzanne says pedicures. Oh, I know. I love pedicures. Taking walks in the parks with your puppies. That's a good one, Chris. I love that. Vicky says she does treat herself to a pedi once in a blue moon, and thinking of taking a soak in the tub and wearing her nice jammies tonight. Oh, I miss a tub. That sounds lovely, Vicky. I love my rig, but I do miss a tub. Let's see. I miss somebody. Hold on. Let's see. Time flies, visiting with granddaughters. Good deal. Frugal says journaling is her self-love. I love that. I miss that, Jana. But yeah, that's a good one. If I've missed anybody, I'll repost it. Let me see if I can catch up. The Camper Tales they go take photos of things in nature, and beautiful photos too, by the way, Tiff, just beautiful. Let's see. Megan, 75 is not old. It's a frame of mind. It's okay. But I hear you, and you're not that much older than me. So but yeah, if you are celebrating life when you wake up, that is definitely a form of self-love. Desert Deb says she'd love to be treated to a pedi. I know. I do miss my pedicures, I tell you. Melanie says working on her art. That's a good one. Oh yes, Vicky Van Gogh did take up running for self-love, and it really works for her. She has done half marathons and trained for a full marathon, and is just being badass out there in the marathon world. We watch her. There's an app where sometimes when she runs a particular race, we can follow her on the course. And how many miles, Vicky, were your last? Were the last two marathons? I know they were different miles. Oh, Christine says she went to a watercolor class. See, and I'm repeating these out loud so that everybody watching this later, and hi, y'all, you're probably watching it after Valentine's Day, but if you're watching it afterwards, I hope you had a great Valentine's Day. I'm repeating these because it might give some people some ideas, and these are all wonderful. Let's see. Cuddling with your kitties, Robin. Oh yeah, cuddling with our fur babies, kitties, feathered friends, puppies, whatever it is. Let's see. Judy says they had tubs in the shower wall. I don't know what that means, tubs in the shower wall, but I have been to that Little America. I just, now that I have my RV, I prefer showering in my own shower. Frugal says drawing, painting, and working on videos. Absolutely. I have come to realize that working on videos for me is downtime. It's creative time that I don't have to kind of think about because I put it in my software and I kind of do the same thing every time. And it is a time sink. And I've been really journaling trying to figure out what it is about the creativity behind videos that works for me. And it is the creativity and uh the the rote of it, because when I'm writing, my mind has to be engaged and I'm kind of consumed. But with videos, it's kind of a fun no-brainer, just rote, doing the same thing every time, and I enjoy that, and it gives me a creative outlet, so I really like that. um Hi, Peter and Kodiak. Good to see you. I'm so glad that you're on here. Ooh, Ty, I would have guessed that you were a swimmer. That is awesomeness. Yes, y'all just did that not too long ago, Vicky. Y'all all got together as a family and did your petties. I love that. Um, Number one, fishing. Yes, definitely, definitely, definitely. Um, and so 13. Okay, so the miles that Vicky ran is 13.1, and 26.2 is the full marathon. You're a beast, and the fact that you even are training for those and doing all of that cracks me. I mean, just not cracks me up, just leaves me in awe. So, Boondocking with Dennis. Hi, welcome. So, I've got Boondocking with Dennis on here, and I've got Richard on here. I want to hear from the guys if y'all are willing. What do y'all do for self-love, or are you aware of it? And Peter, what about you? He says love for him means mindfulness of self and others, and special people, time with special people, and his wolf dog. That is awesomeness. That is awesomeness. Yeah, Richard is recouping also. He took his walk this morning and to an older lady in the park and made her day. That's you, Richard. And we're going to talk about how we show love in a minute. And sometimes when we show love, it's a form of getting love for ourselves too. Yes, Pup Camper 58, I'm with you. Old is a negative state of mind, and I refuse to dwell on it. You and me both, girl. And so and Yeah, y'all stop the old talk. I don't like it, and y'all need to go to another channel and do all of the whining and moaning and groaning, because I'm not in agreement with it. um so Peter says he would love to meet up with me and my friends one day. Well, that would be awesomeness. Lessons from Lila, that's the first one I know of that has done mentioned the gardening, and gratefulness and forgiveness. Yeah, those are huge. Those are huge. And Richard, I just want to say I'm so proud of you and the recovery road that you continue on, and fighting and dogging for your needs and what you're going through. You're a beast in a good way, and I love you, and I'm proud of you for that. Oh yeah, Cece says hi. Cece, by the way, happy Valentine's Day. Watching old black and white movies while eating ice cream. Oh my god. Oh, I haven't done that in forever. I may have to crank out an old movie tonight. I don't. I got to figure out if I can figure out how with my DVD player, and that just sounds lovely. I just love that. Um, so, oh yeah, Frugal says she misses her gardening. She used to have a huge garden, and she used to have turtles, and yeah, all of that kind of went together. And I bet you do miss it, Jana. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, Mary says she doodles with fire. I've got that handy. I want to show them, Mary. I have it right here. So y'all are going to see this, and I don't want to spend much. No, that's not yet. That's for receiving love and showing love. I'll come back to it, Mary. But yeah, so what she means was she doodles with fire. She does wood burning art. And wait till you guys see it. I have a. She gave me a gift, and I'll show it to you in a moment. Let's see. This is such fun. Yes, Suzanne says to Vicky Van Gogh, mad respect for your running. And that's another one that Vicky isn't sitting around thinking she's old, and she's our age. So I'm so proud of you, Vicky. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to start taking comments out. And if y'all keep on, I'm going to put you in timeout. Let's see. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up. So Vicky says she relaxes when she does her gardening too. And lessons from Lila says, come on, Frug, about time for spring planting. Oh, maybe you could do that somehow. So I have a couple of cactuses outside in a planter. Does that count? Not really. Oh, Richard, good for you. Lost 53 pounds, but I know that you're in physical therapy too. It's not just about the weight, but and it's kind of a brutal way to have to lose weight with what you're going through. But I'm proud of you on that 53 pounds. Let's see. Vicky rocks at running stairs. Yes, she does. Hi, Sybil. Good to see you. Oh my gosh, I just lost my place. That's not good. Sally says she watched An Affair to Remember on Netflix the other night. It was great. Awesomeness. Oh, ice cream after a reward from work. That's awesomeness. Surf and Dodo. I didn't know you dabbled in watercolors. And earlier, I think I skipped over what Jenna said. Jenna does journaling. She does drawing, art, painting, wood carving. What am I missing, Jenna? Playing the guitar. All of those are things of her self-love, I believe. And I accidentally skipped over that. I didn't mean to. I'm trying to keep up with a lot right now, and I apologize. Cindy says reading is her. Would you like for me to finish my book so you could read and edit it, Cindy? She says reading is her one of her forms of self-love, awesomeness, and Lori does diamond painting. Hey, so does Judy. She does diamond painting. Lori says she also does acrylic paint pouring. Oh, I have a friend, Connie, that does that. And rock painting. Of course, we all know Joan Rock Pringles. So way to go, Lori. And Robin Mallory says she loves doing woodworking projects. Ooh, that sounds lovely. Suzanne says she enjoys photography. And Camper Tell says she's going to have to hear this guitar playing. Jana rarely plays in front of people, but when she plays, it brings tears to my eyes. I'm telling you. Surf and Dodo says got to have hobbies to keep us busy. That's true. Vicky Van Gogh says she watched Mary Poppins: The Untold Story the other night. I didn't know there was such a thing. Frugal says Camper tells about playing her guitar for them, not anytime soon. That's true, Chris. That is so true. And Judy Connolly says she likes doing rock painting. Okay, so let's go on now, and let me see if I can find that and take that off. Let's talk a little bit about how we show love. Richard just shared that he was doing his walking, part of his recovery that he's doing right now, and the Camper Tell says, ooh, what if I sing a tune? So Peter says he loves helping others. Being selfless is a form of self-love. It is, but it's also a way to show love. Oh, Pup Camper, I didn't know you did diamond painting too. Vicky, I love Frugal's guitar playing too. I'm in agreement with you on that. Haven't heard it in quite a while. Just saying. So how do you show love? I know, what is that book that says the way, I don't remember what it is now, acts of service. That's so Frugal said, okay, we have a commitment in writing. Frugal says she will play and Camper Tales can sing. So that's awesomeness. Sybil says she loves to do photography, reading, gardening, and journaling, and loves to cook for others. That's true. Random acts of kindness, Melanie. You put a question mark. I don't think you meant a question mark. That is definitely a way to show love. So let's talk about the 5 love languages. Yes, that's what. Thank you, Frugal. That's what I was trying to think about. And Sally, thank you. And Christine says the way that she showed love is to do the midnight to 4 a.m. shift at the shelter because she figured that was a hard one to fill. I've done the same. I've taken for volunteer work. I've taken the early morning shift, like 5 to 10 a.m. because I figured the same thing. It was hard to fill, and supposed to be what I was doing at the time was supposed to be 3 people there, and I was usually by myself. So I was really glad that I did that. But that is a way to show love, and y'all start listing some ways that you show love. I want to see that. And I'm going to look up the 5 love languages. I know one of them is acts of services. So, lessons from Lila. You give the best hugs. She says she hugs a lot. And you give the best hugs. And yes, acts of service I know is one of them. So, but how, if you do acts of service to show love, what are some of those acts of services that you do? And I'm trying to find those right now. Y'all hold on. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch. So Sybil says she loves hugs, but now we're talking about what you do to give love. So that's something that you can do, Sybil, is give hugs. I do too. I have to remember to ask people, are you a hugger? Because, I mean, people buy my books and I hug them. So I have to ask. Can I give you a hug? Sometimes they'll be like, eh. Peter says he does nursing as a profession, and that is definitely a show of love, helping elders. And Vicky Van Gogh checks in on people. You do, and she says she's a doer, and Frugal says she's a doer and a fixer, and we know that for sure. Jenna, you are. And Lori is showing love by taking care of her mother. Cece says that she gives someone quality time. You know what, Cece, I would agree with that. I would say that anytime someone is blessed by you giving of your time, and it is definitely quality time, and that is something that is so precious, our time, and to give it to others is huge. Richard says that he's a big hugger, so that's kind of self-love and showing love. I love it. Loretta says to just listen. Oh, that's so huge, Loretta, to give to other people is that gift of time, which is and listening. That's so huge. Vicky does laundry for her dad. Vicky, to list all of the things that you do for your parents. But yeah, that's a very specific act of service, and that's what I'm looking for tonight. How do you specifically show love? Peter says welfare checks on his neighbors. And Megan says she did hospice for the past 50 years. And I love that. And so what are y'all doing? I'm talking about today. What if you were to be able to go out and show some love to somebody? What would that be? Being a nurse and being hospice love and giving that back to people is definitely up there. Peter says wishing people happy Valentine's Day. That's true. It's a form of love. And Grace just bought you a bag of dog treats. Grace is the best, and that right there is a show of love. And Cindy, my cousin, she's saying like making a glass of tea for Michael, calling a friend, helping financially when possible, a smile, holding the door for someone. All of those are ways to show love. And in this day and age, what y'all are listening is so important. And Vicky says she speaks and smiles to people out in the world. It matters. Sometimes I'm walking and I wait for somebody to look at me so I can smile at them or say hi or something. And I am so surprised by the number of times people won't look, and I'll still go ahead and I'll say hi there as I pass them, and they're all like, whoa, and then I see them every now and then. You'll see the smile out of the corner of their mouth. And Suzanne says checking on her neighbors in her condo building. Let's see. Laughter, Lila. That is so huge. Deep belly laughter, the healing kind. Absolutely. And Peter, I appreciate you saying creating a purpose-filled life and living life with intention. I'm looking for details. How do you do that? Not the umbrella. I'm wanting the task. How do you do these things to show love? And I would think that fell more under self-love. And right now we're talking about how you put love out into the world. So Vicky Van Gogh says she bought breakfast snacks to the office this morning. Counts. Absolutely. And thank you to the person giving all that would be Megan, that had been a hospice care nurse and giving all the hospice care to others. Absolutely. Robin cooks for people. A lot of you cook. Cece says today a great dinner with a cocktail, and I know you think you're going with friends, and that's a show of love. Again, giving your time, that connection of being there for other people. It's all very huge. Chris says she looks after the elderly. I moved my mouse and I lose everything. I lost it. Hold on. She loves to bake. So she'll drop cookies off to friends. And Campertel says she'll compliment others, especially if they have a sad look on their face. So true. I will tell you, I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. And the other day, our neighbor, who not that far from us, maybe a quarter of a mile, half a mile from us, he cut through, which was just bizarre. We're like, who's coming into our camp? Because there's no reason to be here. But he cut through just to drop off oranges. He's like, hi, neighbor, and handed us the oranges and went on. Just a moment of his time. But that was a way to show love. Good tip for Valentine's Day. I hope it wasn't $300. But yes, a good tip is always a way to show love, and one that is going to be appreciated. I don't tend to do that if it's going into a pool. But if I know that person that was waiting on my table is going to receive that, I love tipping extra, even if it's $2 extra, $5 extra. It's not going to break me, but it's going to make their day. Instead of just getting the normal 20%, tacking on a little more onto that, they notice, and it can put a pep in their step. I promise you. Desert Deb said she brought donuts to the office. Yes, absolutely. Let's see. And Grace is delivering doggy treats around camp. That is so awesomeness. When shopping at a checkout, if people have fewer items, letting them go in front of you. Act of kindness and love, for sure. I do that too. The other day, this guy, I was checking out at the Dollar General Market here in town. Now, I didn't have that many things, 5 or 6 things. And he had one Valentine's Day card. And I had seen him standing there looking at him, and he was like, and he'd put it up, and and he finally had his one Valentine's Day card, and he was like 4 behind me. They were packed, and they only had one cashier, and he was like 4 behind me. So when it came my turn, I turned around and leaned over, and I said, "Sir, you only have that one card?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Do y'all mind if I let him in front of me?" And everybody's like, what? And, and of course they didn't mind, but nobody had noticed. And so, yeah, things like that can make somebody's days. Let's see. Ty babysat her nephews and nieces today. That's cool. And say hi to strangers, hold the door. And Peter's opening his home for a yearly gathering. Wow, that's a huge act of love. A gentleman held the door open for Desert Deb today, greeting the janitor with the same respect as the CEO, showing respect. Respect is always a good way to show love. Opening the doors for the elderly and disabled. So, hi, Barb. Good to see you. Nomadic Irish Rose. Yes, volunteering at animal shelters and fostering dogs and kittens and fostering children also. Patty, hi, sweetheart. Y'all, Fernwa Chronicles is a friend of mine. Patty, she gives away clay angels. She makes the most beautiful clay figurines and dolls, and she says she gives away burdens loved ones with clay angels, polymer clay. That no, Patty, it is not a burden. Sending old-fashioned handwritten cards or letters. I know several people that do that, and to yeah, Melanie, that counts. Just but do anything that makes somebody's time a little less stressful is always a show of love. Listening and understanding and like giving people time to talk. Y'all are so great. Bye, Sally. We'll see you. Okay, so those are all awesomeness for showing love. And let's see. Thank you, Peter. That's very kind. I'm following y'all's lead. So now I want to talk about this one. Might be a little bit harder for y'all to share. It's about receiving love, and so if you were to be able to wave a magic wand and sending Buc-ee's to family. Yeah, I'm still eating on that. In fact, that was one of the things I was snacking on when I showed that picture of Bandit. Cindy, I was snacking on some of my Buc-ee's treats. And it's like, no, baby boy, I love you, but you don't get any of my Buc-ee's treats from Cindy and Mike. So yes, that is a way to show love. So if you could wave a magic wand, other than getting care packages from my cousins, what is a way that you like to receive love? A massage is nice, but what if you're in things like that? Yes, Frugal's true. We been loving those treats. What if so I know several people on here have lost their partners. So what if you're not with somebody? So y'all be sure and be thinking about that too. How do you what is a way that you like to receive love, that maybe when you're maybe not in a relationship? Frugal says receiving love is the hardest for her. It is for so many, and I expect this will be the most silent and hardest for us to get going. But I'm not gonna give up on you guys. I will tell you, I tend to conflate things. Like for me, self-love, like I said, is I love my pedicures. I don't get them anymore on the road, but Captain Starlink, hello. It is hard, Vicky. It is very hard. Showing kindness is a good way to give love. That is correct. And so I love my pedicures, and sometimes y'all are going to think I'm nuts for saying this, but whether I get a massage or I get a pedicure, that for me is a way of receiving love. Now, if I go to a shop and I'm paying those guys, am I really receiving love? That then it tends to go back to self-love. So this one is tricky. Surfing Dodo says a hug will do. I'm with you on that. Richard, I love Mike and Judy. They take such good care of you, and I know Judy has been transporting you to your doctor appointments and everything. And talking about giving and showing love, but also you are receiving love from them. But what I'm not doing this very well. What I want to know from you is, what would you want? Not what you've already, maybe that is it. Hugs from others, words of kindness. Chris says that does it for her on getting love. Hugs is huge for me. I love getting my hugs from my peeps, and if I can be around people and laugh, if we laugh and if we hug, I feel loved at the end of the day. And allowing someone to care for you day to day, so hard, but it is a gift to the giver. It is a gift to the person that is doing the caring. And that might be how you want to a way, something that you want and need, Lila, is somebody to come care for you day to day. That gets conflated for me, and I get all twisted on being a burden, and so by the end of the day, if somebody's having to look out for me and care for me, it I don't necessarily, even though it was a very loving thing, I taint it, not them. I taint it, and so that tends to stop feeling so much love to me. Suzanne says being listened to. I get that, Suzanne, and it, in this day and age, that is harder and harder to find the right audience and the right time, I think, for things that we need and want to share. And when you do, and they can listen, I know it is huge. And the Camper Tales is kind of saying the same thing, when they can get someone's undivided attention, because we're all so busy in this day and age. And when we get that, and puts the phone down, she says, and they look at you and actually hear you, and they compare it back, and let you know that they heard you. I agree with that. And Sue says hearing from her children is love to her, in a text message or telling her that they love her. Lori says she loves getting acts of service from others. That's so good to know, and that's good to know about yourself. Chris it has said hugs from others and words of kindness. I think I backed up a little bit. Let's see. But how do you feel love, Peter? You're still talking about how you give love. I want to know what can somebody do that makes you feel loved in the moment? Yes, Cindy says accepting help it is how she receives love when she feels bad because of her MS and her mast cell syndrome. When you're very independent, that's what I was talking about. It's like, is that how I feel loved? I don't know about that. Because it's like, that's at the end, in that moment, if if it's needed and that care is there, and there's nothing wrong with asking for that help, getting that help, accepting that help, and receiving that help. But is that really how you feel loved? Is it the care and the nurturing behind that act of service, or is it the actual act of service? For me, that all gets very confusing, and I might not even be making any sense. Terry says she would feel loved if someone got her sense of humor, or if they say, "I hear you." I get that, Terry. Receiving love, acceptance, accepting the other person's offering of love. But that doesn't mean that it felt like love to you. There's a difference, and it is so tricky. So receiving and accepting and allowing them to show love, that's not the same as you feeling loved. And if you had a magic wand, what you would want to be able to feel that love. So Camper Tales must have said something that, because you guys are all like true Camper Tales, and I'm not seeing it. I'm sorry. So Cheryl had to go. Okay. Let's see. I'm not talking about expecting love, Peter. I'm just talking about, I want a list. Y'all were, and I knew this would be hard. Y'all were able to give a ton of examples of what you do, specific things that you do for self-love. You were able to give a list of things that you do to show love. But when it comes to receiving love and feeling love, we're not that good at identifying that as a species. That's my observation, and this is proving out to show that. We listed infinitum how we show love. We listed infinitum what we do for ourselves for self-love. But when I'm asking you what specific acts make you feel loved, that you would want or desire, that in that moment makes you feel loved, it's not that easy to specify that. And eating good food, isn't that a form of self-love? Kind people. Okay, Peter says socializing with quality, mindful, authentic people. But how is that receiving? What are you receiving? What is the reciprocity that you're receiving? Yeah, we're not very good at listing things. Megan, that's so sweet. Megan says her niece had a photo of Al, her late husband, printed on a blanket for her, and she cried so hard to feel so loved by her. And so that was a gift. She received a gift that made her feel loved, and I get that because it was thoughtful, it was from the heart, and it touched your heart. Cece says she would love someone to take her on a long ocean drive. There you go. There's a list item. Surprise you with a horse ride on the beach. Oh my God. See, these are the things I'm talking about. Listing something. And I knew it would take us a while to get there. She says, but to be honest, I would settle for someone cleaning my bathroom. Absolutely. I am talking about a specific task. And BJ Schooler says the wagging tails of her dogs. Isn't that the truth? That is something for receiving love. When I wake up, I want to see Bandit's little face looking at me, happy, and so great list from Cece, great on BJ on the dogs, and Megan on the blanket. And Robin says that her granddaughter did that for her, pictures on a blanket. And so those are things that Peter says, okay, I'll clean her bathroom. And so those are things that act was in the 5 languages of love. Gifts is one of them, and acts of service. And that was actually both. That was a gift and an act of service because they had to have it made. And they had to get the pictures, and they were thinking of you when they did that. And so I'm going to show you something that my friend Mary, if you are still on here, would you please let me know? Y'all will see this in a video. My friends that text to make sure that I've eaten, lessons from Lila, and friends that send me songs, Deborah, that feels like love. Yes, and Vicky has checked on me to make sure I have eaten. And yes, those things of that you're thinking of that person in that moment and what they're dealing with, and you're doing a very specific thing. And so what she's talking about is she receives those as love when friends check in on her, those wellness checks. And thank you, Mary. Those wellness checks. We said that those are ways that we show love, those wellness checks. But Vicky's saying that's a way that she likes to receive love, is people checking in on her. And Camper Tales, Tiff is saying that when Lauren has done tasks that were on her to-do list and without being asked, and she thought, how can I make her day easier? That's it. And yes, Victor, we love you. And Christine says her cousin drove from New York to Connecticut to take her to her cataracts to get done. And yes, that made you feel special. So Christine, your answer to my question of what doesn't have to be an act, but what today could you receive that would make you feel love? For you, it would be somebody taking you somewhere and making life a little easier. We've talked about that. We've talked about somebody giving of time and things that make life easier. Robin says the connection of her granddaughter calling. And anyway, let me show y'all. Let me show y'all this. You'll see it on, let me get this down. Hold on. Where'd it go? So y'all will see this on a video, and I'll talk about each one of the things that are on here on the video that's coming up Monday. My patrons and my channel members will get the video sooner. Is feeling love the same as receiving love? I'll come back to that in a minute. Jinx, you owe me a coat. Okay. Yeah. Is feeling love the same as receiving love? I think so, because here's why I say this, Vicky, because Mary clearly spent hours and hours and hours and hours on this wood burning art. And isn't it beautiful? So she gave that to me out of love from the depths of her heart, she made this and gave that to me out of love. But what if it didn't make me feel loved? You know, I mean, it did, Mary, you know, it did. But there, you have to know what makes you feel loved and be able to list those things. And because people can go all day long doing things that might not necessarily make you feel loved. And I think we also we have to be on the lookout for the little things. I know, right? It's so beautiful. We have to be on the lookout for things that people do, and accept that, and be grateful for that, and know that it was coming from the heart and in a place of love. But you also need to, I know, isn't it wonderful? I just love it. And y'all see it on a video. Thank you again, Mary. Y'all will see it on a video where I talk about each little thing that's on there on Monday. I think we need to be able to list how we receive love as easily as we list the things that we do for ourselves to feel self-love, the things that we do to show love, and the things that we need to receive and feel loved. We like y'all demonstrated. Yeah, y'all saw the fan and the tree and everything. She's so talented. She's so talented. We're very good at making a list of self-love. We're very good at making a list of how we show love, but we're all over the place when it comes to identifying how we feel love, and what makes us feel loved, and what we need to feel love. It's not that easy when you twist it and you go, let's talk about it from this aspect. And Peter says anything that brings him peace of mind is love. And Lila, lessons from Lila. Sorry about that. Lessons from Lila says the gift of time in whatever form. Gosh, I just love that y'all were with me tonight, and that you were willing to weigh in on this. And for those of you that are watching this afterwards, please leave a comment and let maybe write out self-love dash what you do, show how you show love dash and what you do, and what you want to receive and feel loved, because it's not that easy. And so CC says feeling love is emotional. Receiving love is an outward action. That's true. That's true. But I agree, CC. And going to play devil's advocate here. And when the rest of the world around us is doing outward actions to demonstrate love, don't we need to know which ones of those work for us? I mean, the feeling love is emotional, but if people are showing love in all the ways that you guys said, and the list is infinitely long, we just covered a little bit of it. If people are doing all of those things to show love, don't you need to know where you land on what works for you, and how you receive love? I mean, I know that book, the five acts of loves, or whatever it is, we just talked about it a while ago, it has been written, and there's countless books on this, and we're not going to cover it all this evening. But it just occurred to me that we're very good about knowing how to love ourselves. We're very good, or hopefully, and especially by our age, better at it on showing self-love. We're very good about knowing how to show love to other people. But when it comes to receiving love, that all gets all muddied. Letitia Diaz says when she needs to be encouraged for a road trip, she thinks of Frugal RV Gal and I, the nuttier the better. Good, Letitia, that the Nomad community has given you a reality of your love for the road. That's good. Chris says for her, it's an act of physical touch. and her grandson brushing her hair, or a coworker giving her a squeeze of the shoulders while she calls a patient's family with bad news. And so yeah, I think work on getting real clear those aspects of love, because that's how I need to get clear on it. I'm not. I wanted to hear from you guys and learn tonight. And Peter, I'm not talking about all the esoterical and metaphysical and inside job and all that. I'm talking about very specifics. And because yes, if you don't love yourself, if you don't have all of that in repair, and if you got shit going on there and you're working on it, that's going to muddy the waters no matter what. So I'm not talking about all of that. I'm talking about very specifics. You ought to be able to, I think, I might be wrong, but I think that you ought to, we can do bullet list, bullet point list for self-love. We can do bullet point lists for showing love. We ought to be able to do bullet point lists for receiving love too. And it's not always that easy. But Megan says her little love fosters petting her and kissing her with kitty love. So Cece says, which then leads you to feeling loved. I agree. Receiving and giving does intertwine. Yes, it does. I mean, it so does. Maybe without one, it's hard to have the other. I think so. I think so. And, there are some things that can be on all three lists. And Peter says he understands. Thank you. I know, Vicky, right? Vicky's telling Frugal she needs a froogie hug. And the physical is so important. And, I just think that I appreciate y'all bearing with me on the topic tonight, because it's something that I'm wrangling with, and I'm working on to understand myself better. I've got the self-love down, and I think I'm pretty good at showing love. Some of y'all may disagree. I'm also pretty good with setting boundaries, which is a form of self-love. So I'm pretty good at the self-love and the showing love. But on what if somebody could do XYZ for me right now, I would feel so loved. I'm not that good at that. Lessons from Lila says campfire hugs, laughter, and I sleep feeling loved. Yeah, I agree. So I think if you can make those lists, like a horseback ride, campfire, hugs, laughter, it's doing thumbs up. If you can make a list of those things, it makes it easier also to turn around and do the self-love if you're not getting it from somebody else. And it's all intertwined, and I might not have made much sense tonight, but y'all sure did make my evening. And yes, Vicky, with besties camp next to you, time with besties, time going and and again, I'm talking about solo stuff because it's different when you're in a relationship. My cousin Cindy shared what she does for Mike to show love, and it's different when you're in a relationship. You might have very specific things in a relationship that you don't want to share online, and that's good. Don't do that. But you got to be clear on that too. So maybe it's more than anything we could have covered, and maybe I bit off more than we could cover tonight. But I think we did a really good job of understanding that we're pretty good at self-love. We're pretty good at showing love, but that receiving love gets muddied. And Surf and Dodo, not seeing you for a year and you welcome me with open arms. Yes, and remembering people's names, Charlie and Diane. Vicky Van Gogh is getting into memory lanes now with Frugal. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. All right, guys. That is all I had for tonight. I am sad that I don't get to do some self-love and go out and make myself a campfire tonight, but the Mother Nature has other plans. So I'll figure something else out to show self-love. And if you are in with a special someone tonight, I hope that you get the love you need and that you can show them love. And if you're with friends, that you get to do the same. Just give and receive love. And if you're on your own tonight, and that you can figure out how to do some of that self-love and just have a wonderful end of the day. Happy Valentine's Day. And if you're watching this afterwards, whatever day it is, I hope that you feel loved and know that you are loved. So that's it, you guys. I'm sending everybody love, and I will see you down the road. I'll see you next Friday. Y'all watch for that video on Friday where I talk about this beautiful artwork that Mary gave me. We'll see you down the road. Keep on keeping on, everybody. Love you. Happy Valentine's.